A lot of people have talked about like general rules of makeup, and as I've dived a little bit more into Asian beauty, I think I've realized a couple of things that, makeup rules that aren't really consistent across like Western and Eastern. As a young girl trying to figure out makeup for the first time, a lot of times I just went to YouTube and copied essentially what a lot of these girls were doing. A lot of these girls were had very Western features, and I was always like, oh yeah, who cares if they're Western features? That's just the rules of makeup, right? So I would follow a lot of it. But as I've become a little bit more involved in like looking at Eastern makeup trends, I think that there's a huge divide, or not really a huge divide, but I think that there's a little bit of differences. So today I actually want to talk about a couple of differences that I've seen, and I think that they're also personally a little bit more flattering for myself as well. First one that we have, now this one isn't actually like Eastern versus Western, it's actually just Chinese, because I feel like the Korean beauty is still on the very dewy glass skin kind of realm, whereas Chinese beauty is very matte. I thought it was a little bit of a trend, but now using powder, I actually do prefer it. I find that using powder, it like the texture of your face just kind of goes away, especially when your face is like glimmery and shimmery. It tends to emphasize a lot of texture, and as I have matted down my face with powder, I don't see any of that texture anymore. So it started off me thinking like, oh, it's a Chinese trend of just having matte skin, but now I actually kind of prefer it. And I do find that it looks kind of nice, because as the day goes on, my oils start to come in a slight bit, but it's not like I come home and my face is like just shiny. I do have kind of like dryish kind of skin. That's why I said dry skin doesn't actually need like a dewy finish. I think that a lot of times people are like, oh yeah, I should just go the opposite. If I have oily skin, I should always go matte products, but if I have dry skin, I should always go dewy finish. I'm here to say that that doesn't really need to be the case. Now the second one I did not put on my face because I don't have this product. I bought a product, but it wasn't exactly correct for me. So I gave it to my mom, because my mom actually has lighter hair than I do. But the second one is that your eyebrows can actually be 1 to 2 shades lighter than your actual hair color. And I think that a lot of times people try to match them. And for a while I was like, oh yeah, I'll just match it. And because I've kind of darker hair, I always used to get like eyebrow products that were like the darkest on the spectrum range. But as I have obviously gone more into Dewy and makeup, one thing I did notice is that a lot of times these girls are using like what is it, like eyebrow gels that are actually tinting their hair color of their eyebrows to be lighter, like 1 or 2 shades lighter. You don't need to line your lips. And I feel like I think I was watching maybe a couple of like days ago or a couple of weeks ago, there was like a girl doing like the beginner's guide to makeup, and she was like going on and on about how like lip liner is like a game changer. And to be honest, she's a professional makeup artist, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that's the case if you're looking to really go for that Western kind of beauty look. But that's not really the case. You don't have to follow these rules. Like, all these rules are just arbitrarily rules. A lot of these people that I watch here in the West, they don't really know too much about like Eastern beauties, beauty trends and things like that. So I'm here to say that you don't actually have to line your lips. That's not what I did today. I'm not a professional makeup artist by any means. I actually pretty much suck at makeup, but I try here and there. I'm like the average person, just kind of getting into makeup a little bit more and just trying to figure things out. A very big trend on, I guess, Chinese makeup. I don't know if I'll expand it to the entire like Eastern kind of makeup, but you actually kind of overline your lip like at the top, and then you blend it out a little bit, and that's supposed to like give you like a little plumper lips. So you don't actually have to like line exactly your lips. I do find that, like, even though I'm not a professional makeup artist, I do find that today, like, I feel like my lips look a lot bigger than they usually do if I had like no makeup on. This is talking about the contour. So the first one that I have, because there's two. The first one is contouring your nose. I think a lot of times, this is a huge one in like Western products or Western beauty or Western like YouTube videos that I've seen. All the girls literally contour their nose like by drawing two lines. And they're not even using like a contour color. They're actually using just a bronzer to just draw two lines, two parallel lines down their nose. But this is probably a big game changer if you have Eastern features, if you have like, you know, if you are Asian like myself. Now I'm gonna make a generalization, but please don't take it too strongly. But a lot of times, a lot of Asians don't have a very strong like nose bridge. I myself don't either. It's very like, I have a kind of flatter nose bridge. So what a lot of, you know, Asian girls tend to do is to highlight that bridge. They try to emphasize and push out this bridge. So what you can do instead of just drawing two lines down your nose, because the only thing that's really going to do is just make this part protrude a little bit more and maybe look a little straighter. But a big game changer is to highlight this nose bridge. So what you're going to do, I mean, I already did it today, but I'll show you. But I have a contour product. Now this one is pretty gray. So as you can see, it's not like, I mean, it's basically, yeah, very gray and cool toned. It's not really at all like bronzy. So you definitely want to get a contour product. You are actually going to want to place it right here, like where your nose bridge is. You can almost like cover it too and see where like the natural contours of your nose is. And you're gonna like contour like right here where you see a little bit of that shadow. And you're gonna do the same for the other side, but it probably won't look good because I have the window there. That's what you should be doing instead of like just doing the straight two lines, because that is not like doing really much for you. It's just protruding this middle section, but like what about the nose bridge? So yeah, tip for my Asian girlies out there. Now the other one is about your cheeks. So this is a big one too. I followed, I forgot what her name is called. I want to say it's like Lily or something. She's on YouTube. She had one like YouTube short or something that just resonated with me so much. She said that there's like a different way that Asians contour, and that just like clicked in my head. That just made so much sense. Asians are really trying to shrink their face and make it like as small as possible. I think it's because of proportions. When your face looks smaller or your head looks smaller, your entire body looks a little bit more slendered and like you look taller essentially. So that's very different from the way that like the Western people contour their face, because they're really looking for chiseledness. They're looking for like angular cheekbones. So it's very different. So anyways, she also said that all their colored products should be like right here. This looks so stupid, but like right in this section that you want to put like your blush. You don't want to put it like over here. You want to put it like towards the inner side of your face, as to make your face look a little bit teeny tinier. So that was actually the going into the next portion, where you don't actually put the blush like on the top of your cheekbones, because that almost emphasizes the wideness of your face. A lot of Asians, myself included, I have a very wide face. If you can kind of see, I have a wider face, and that's very true for quite a lot of Asians. A lot of times we are looking to skinny our face or narrow our face a little bit more. So we don't actually want to put colored products right here. We want to put maybe a contour product, but we won't put any blush here. So yeah. But also, I did want to say that these are all beauty rules that you don't have to follow in terms of like the Western way, but also just in general. If you don't like any of the stuff that I say, that's completely fine. You know, makeup can be washed off at the end of the day. It's not permanent. Okay, the next one is continuing with blush, but also kind of not continuing with it, because my next one is not actually one that I have found on like Western side and like Eastern side, but it's just something that I've kind of come across with. But my hot take is that I don't actually think that you need blush. I feel like almost every other product in like a makeup routine, it's almost kind of like you kind of have to do it, otherwise it just looks a little off. Like say for example, I didn't have mascara on, like my lashes would just, it would look weird if I had like eyeshadow on but no mascara. Let's say concealer, obviously, like otherwise you'd have dark under eyes. You know, people in my life have also said before, if I didn't wear concealer, they're like, are you tired? Is everything okay? Like, are you good? One thing I don't think that people notice when you don't wear it is blush. I don't know, is blush really like a need to have? Similar like makeup artist, she said that like you have to wear blush because it makes you look happier, it makes you look more lively, and I don't see it that way. When I don't wear blush, I'm like, I don't think I look like not happy. And then similarly, like I also have like kind of, I guess, palish lips. So sometimes when I didn't have any lip products on, it looks a little bit weird. So, you know, lip products is like almost a need to have. Well, not really a need to have, but it's kind of one of the more things that you should have. Or if you like don't have any eyebrows. I mean, I have naturally bushy eyebrows, but if you have like very light eyebrows and you do like the rest of your face and you leave your eyebrows, people will kind of notice. But if you do the rest of your face and don't put any blush on, I don't really think anybody's gonna be like, you didn't put any blush on, that's weird. But if a lot of other products, if you do your entire face and just leave that one product out, people will kind of notice. This one is about wearing red around your eyes. I actually emphasized it today, so much so that I actually used a blush. I because I don't use blush. I use this one for the first time in a while. This is the MAC Melba powder blush. And I put this around my eyes. I basically used a blush brush, but then I didn't put it as blush. I put it as like around my eyes. And I've seen people do that on Douyin. Kind of interesting about putting red around your eyes. Like, sure, it could be a little bit like you have an eye infection, but also it feels a little bit more mysterious. It feels like a little bit interesting to me, you know. Don't be scared of putting like red around your eyes. I think that it's interesting to try it out. It's a little bit like the new age makeup and not necessarily like a timeless makeup, but I think it's a little bit of fun. Definitely something that you see a lot of times in Eastern beauty is to highlight the little eye puff underneath your eye. So you almost like smile or you squint and you almost like emphasize that little back. So today I kind of did it. I don't know if I did it that well, but you kind of squint, you smile-ish, and then you have like a natural line here. And basically what I did is I used my little liner brush and I kind of drew on top of that line to sort of emphasize it. I used another brush to pick up some like whiter or more skin color eyeshadow, and then I highlighted the part that's like poking out, but then under like where the shadow is, you put the, you know, the line. That's a common one, so I won't really go on and on about that, but yeah. So these are all the makeup rules that I don't think that you need to follow. And realizing that, oh, Western beauty is so different from Eastern beauty, and a lot of times I don't think a lot of Western beauty kind of like suits me, or maybe not suits me, but it's interesting to do something different. These are beauty rules, I guess, that were really cemented into my head growing up, and still to this day a lot of people like still follow those rules. But as I become a little bit more aware of like what other people are doing, not just in the West, that I think that these are a lot of beauty kind of rules that you don't need to follow. You can break, you can try things out, and what I say is not gospel either. Like, you can disagree with whatever I say. You can do it whatever way that you want. A little bit more tailored for my fellow Asians out there, because I am Asian. This is just what I found was a little bit more flattering for myself. So yeah. Anyways, this was just a little bit of fun. Thank you so much for watching this pretty long-winded video. And yeah, I hope to see you in another one. Bye.